It was my 43rd birthday. I was newly divorced, lost my house, my kids, and was living off of 10K my grandmother left me after she died a few weeks ago. The only other good thing I had was my hair. I always wore it long and admired it, and I never cared what anybody said. I even wore a tiny beaded braid behind my ear for luck. But lately it felt as though my luck had run out. Needless to say, celebrating wasn't on my mind when my cousin called. He said, "You're a free man. You've got to get yourself out there. I know a place where you can have a good time." "Oh yeah," I answered unenthusiastically. "Pick you up Friday night?" I hadn't been to a club since the early days of my marriage, and wasn't too excited to go. But by the time Friday night rolled around, I got curious. My cousin showed up around 7 p.m. and just said, "Get ready." I couldn't put my finger on it, but something told me not to get in the car. But I found myself strapping on the passenger seat belt and ignoring the horrible drop in my gut as he sped off. "Where are we going?" "You'll see." He grinned. "It's a surprise." As the highway sped on, the night around us grew pitch black. I was wide awake. I'd even taken a nap and drank some coffee before we left. But the moment we crossed the state line, I passed out. It wasn't until my cousin came to a hard stop that I awoke to a glowing sign of a bob-haired woman sitting on a cauldron. The sign read "The Brewing Bob." "Is this a club?" "The club? But I gotta tell ya the rules before going inside." I raised a brow at him, but he went on. "Rule 1, whatever you do, don't fall asleep. Rule 2, don't stare into the lady's eyes. Rule 3, don't put your mouth on anything but your drink." I was debating if I should wait in the car, but I found myself saying, "Okay." Inside was a gothic scene of a typical nightclub. At first I thought it a little odd. Live snakes and spiders on acrobatic cage dancers. But other than that, nothing too strange. We ordered drinks, and I could feel eyes on my backside. It was like the entire club was watching me. Then, this woman came to me. She was voluptuous, a burgundy red head, with dark smoldering eyes, and a red dress that could set your eyes on fire. "Hi," she sang. "Hey," I said back. "You look like a man who's lost everything. Did my cousin put you up to this?" She leaned in close so that her soft lips grazed my ear, and she whispered, "Your cousin isn't your concern right now." Stroking her hand in my hair, she cooed, "You have such lovely hair." Thanks," I said. "Can I buy you a drink?" she asked. "Sure," I said. It was a first for me, and being flat broke these days, why not? She ordered a drink I'd never heard of before, but took the lime from the cup and placed it in her mouth. Then, leaning in close, she stared deep into my eyes and whispered, "A kiss for luck." At that moment, I couldn't remember the rules. All I knew was that her eyes sparkled like something I'd never seen before. And then she kissed me, passing the lime wedge into my mouth. I bit down on it, and at once, everything went black. I woke up in a strange room in my underwear, lying on a bed as 3 women quickly stuffed my belongings into a bag with some scissors. I sat up groggily and asked, "Who are you?" The women took one look at me, laughed, and ran from the room. I tried to go after them, but my legs were numb from whatever was in my system, and I was in my underwear. "Hey," I called, but the women, including the redhead, were gone. Then, hearing me scream, my cousin ran inside. "I've been looking all over for you," he said, but his voice fell short as he stared at me wide-eyed. "What?" I asked. He simply pointed at my head, and I ran a nearby mirror and screamed. Every inch of my hair was gone. My head, my eyebrows, even my lashes had been plucked clean. My blood-curdling scream got us kicked out of the strange motel we were in. My cousin rushed us back across state lines as fast as he could. He kept asking me if I wanted to go to the police, but I just wanted to run home and find the first baseball cap and sunglasses I could get my hands on. As soon as I got my cap on, we went to the police, but they said, since it happened out of state, there wasn't much they could do. Then, about 3 months later, I was at a coffee shop when a woman walked in. I don't know why, but something about her seemed familiar. She made a quick order, and I couldn't stop staring at her. Then, when she picked up her order, I saw it. She turned to me and winked, tucking a strand behind her ear where my lucky beaded braid was. "Wait, stop," I shouted, chasing after her and pulling her hair. Immediately the wig pulled off her clean, bald head, and people all around us started taking pictures, cursing me out, and calling me every foul name. The woman ran away, and I held what was unmistakably my hair woven into a wig, with the label Brewing Bob's. I immediately went to the police, told them what happened, and few weeks later one of the officers called me. Turned out my hair was the perfect evidence they needed to track down an illegal hair operation. 3 women who called themselves the Brewing Bobs ran from their basement. They were stealing hair from just about any and everything, humans, cats, dogs, even rats, and sewing them into wigs. The health inspector had been after them for years, after catching wind of their operation. But it wasn't until my wig that they were able to track the manufacturers they purchased sewing equipment from. They also did petty crimes involving theft and tax evasion. The police told me if I wanted to I could press charges for my losses. I did that and then some, suing for distress and damages. I now have a nice settlement of $50,000, and my hair is growing back.